Today on Running to Him.
Only through understanding how God has acted in the past can we understand how and why He works today. We will be reading through the book of Psalms for 6 months. Today we read Psalm 44, the title, through verse 12, and we'll concentrate on verses 1 through 3. Psalm 44, 1 through 3 says, O God, we have heard with our eyes, our fathers have told us the work that you did in their days, in the days of old. You with your own hand drove out the nations, then you planted them, you afflicted the people, then you spread them abroad. For by their own sword did they not possess the land, and their own arm did not save them, but your right hand and your arm, and the light of your presence, for you favored them. Now this psalm is actually divided into 2 parts. Most of the first part discusses what God has done in the past. The last section of today's reading discusses the people's situation and pleads that God delivers them. Today, we will focus on the importance of knowing God's history. Now, when we were in elementary school, did we wonder why we studied specific subjects such as history and geography? Many people in school feel that these 2 subjects don't need to be emphasized and may not even need to be taught. This kind of thinking comes out when you see street interviews where people don't know anything about the War of Independence or the Civil War or any significant event in American or world history. You see people in these interviews unable to pick out continents, much less countries. And on occasion, you might see a game show where a biblical history is discussed, and you'll see even those who purport to have a relationship with God who don't know the answers to simple questions. Now, it's no wonder that people struggle when faced with a hostile environment. It is vitally important that we know and understand our history. We cannot understand how God will act if we don't see how He served in the past. We do not know how we will act if we do not know how others have worked before us. And we, indeed, will become depressed and dejected when faced with certain situations if we don't know the history of others who have gone through similar things. Now, people say they lose their faith in God when bad things happen. While they may lose their comfort in talking about God, their faith was not based on history, but based on something else. We must train our children and ourselves in God's history. This requires that we understand the Old Testament and the New Testament, and have an understanding of history, particularly of Israel. It also requires that we know church history from the book of Acts to today. Without that understanding, we'll fall by the wayside without the training when struggles appear.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.